Who is that next faction and next faction leader we're bringing to the game?
Thank you for the honor. The faction and the race both are very dear to my own heart because I'm a fan of those hardy people in the north that live right on the edge of the chaotic influence, the Norskans.
Yes, that's right, folks. We are getting a Norska update, and you could have called me the Faithless, because honestly, I wasn't sure that this was ever going to happen. Definitely wanted it to happen, but that's right, as was teased yesterday and officially confirmed today, Sail the Faithless, not Faceless, Sail the Faithless is coming to Total War Warhammer 3 along with a big update to Norska. Be sure to check out the link in the description down below to watch Creative Assembly's video on it, where I pulled those clips from. Many of you have probably already seen it before watching this video, and that's great. They talk a little bit more about some of the campaign stuff. They also talk about new Fimir hero, I believe, like a Fimir melee hero, from what it looks like. And also, there's the Chimera as a new monster, which is super cool. But in general, some big updates coming to Norska, in particular on the campaign side. But we'll have to wait and see what that entails. Sail, at the very least, will be a caster lord. That will definitely greatly benefit Norska in sprucing up its build variety. Of course, more units, monsters, etc. is always welcome. This replay from Prime here is going to be taking the Lizardmen against Norska. Decided to pull this replay from my Discord to celebrate this particular auspicious occasion for Norska. We've got a front line of Marauders backed up by some Marauder Hunter Javelins, a Shaman Sorcerer of Metal who is going to look to not get transformed into whatever that spawn thing they showed off in the video was. Wolfric also on his Mammoth here. And yeah, we've got some Skin Wolves and Ice Wolves out a little bit far to the back, but we'll be moving up shortly to support. As for the Lizardmen, we've got some Solar Engines, a Solar Engine single, I guess, with Tic-Tac-Toe leading the way. Love to see it. Fire Leech Bolas and the Regiment of Renown, Ripperdactyls for anti-large. Looks like Rock Scores moving into melee as well. And then a Lore of Beasts Skink Priest up in the air. Pretty good stuff to have him relatively safe in the sky, although his cost efficiency on foot is probably best in the game. A little Sea Fang unleashed on the Skinks in the front line. Sea Fang is finally going to be a teleport campaign mechanic, according to that video, which, to be honest, it always should have been, but here we are in this day and age. Should definitely spice up Wolfric's campaign. They said in the video their intention is to make him the ultimate raider, but here he is definitely raiding the Lizardmen, pushing back. Prime very wisely just avoiding taking that engagement for the time being, pulling back his Lizard Cavalry, keeping quite a bit of value occupied, I guess. Yeah, the other side here, the Fire Leech Bolas move over. They're going to drop some rocks, do some good damage, although one unit taking some serious damage in return from the Javelins. A lot of Skinks and so forth on this side have been cleaned up, and largely in melee, it's just gone pretty poorly. For any Skinks anywhere where there were not Crocsagores. There's a couple Crocsagores here that are still doing fairly well. Glossodon Hunters also dropped down, but they are relatively low armor. And plenty of Javelins close by. Let's see, Javelins having some range jank repositioning issues. The big outstanding issues left in the game. And a few good volleys there. Yeah, the Glossodon Hunters do manage to feast on a unit of Skin Wolves, basically eliminate a unit of Ice Wolves, but are probably going to pay for it there, along with the Crocsagores. Not exactly a cost-effective exchange, but let's see. More Ice Wolves getting intercepted here by Feral Cold Ones. We do have another unit of Crocsagores relatively healthy. Out in the distance, Wolfric caught up on the Cold One Spear Riders, relatively unsupported. Yeah, he's going to take some damage there. Might actually win out in the engagement just through pure HP, but a really nice Flock of Doom placement here. It's both these Marauder Hunters and these remaining tattered Marauders. But it's definitely a bloody battle on both sides. As, yeah, the Javelins, anywhere they focus fire on any of these large Lizardmen units, they're just going to fall to pieces. But wisely keeping that Solar Engine far out of range, continuously applying that blinded debuff wherever possible. even on these Skin Wolves, allows even low-tier units like these Skink Cohort to trade fairly cost-effectively. Good stuff. Yeah, let's see here. Solar Engine landing some shots now at the Marauder Hunters. Will affect their accuracy somewhat. How much it matters, it's hard to say. But let's see. Looks like their DPS is wildly impressive. They are kind of getting interrupted in melee. Also, looks like the Fire Leech Bull is having to charge down from the sky. Tic-Tac-Toe could be in some trouble here, though. The Ice Wolves, ooh, they were not able to keep him pinned on the ground. Javelins waste some volleys there trying to take him down. But Wolfric actually ends up losing out that engagement. Very surprised. I guess it is 2,000 points worth of anti-large armor-piercing cavalry. Maybe not totally unexpected, but yeah, in the surround there, they're able to prevail. That is going to put a pretty big leadership dent in Norska, but let's see. Certainly still plenty of Skin Wolves left, plenty of healing cap space. And the longer they're alive, kind of running around, better. Ooh, brutal shot down the vertical column of those Ice Wolves. That's Solar Engine getting some really nice value. Tic-Tac-Toe also feasting on some value, trying to take out some Marauder Hunters here. Ice Wolves, once again, trying to keep them pinned on the ground, but Javelin Hunters is having a hard time with their leadership at this point, since Wolfric actually just went fully down out there in the distance. That is going to cause some cascading leadership issues, but Overcast Plague of Rust here on the Bastildon takes it down to only 80 armor. It's insane how much armor this thing has base. Basically tears away half of it, but even still, those Skin Wolves are not doing particularly impressive amounts of damage. Yeah, the Bastildon also, considering it has perfect vigor, that armor just never goes down. It does make some great direct self-synergy. Tic-Tac-Toe, though, does get caught by the Ice Wolves, and the Skin Wolves also in a surround, just pummeling him. Be a tough time to escape this, so it's possible they just trade Lord Deaths here, which Balance Power seems to think is basically even at this point. We'll see. The fact that the Lizardmen have some mobility to try and outmaneuver here, get favorable engagement, maybe try and bail out the Solar Engine is pretty important. That said, the Solar Engine is getting not too low, not even below half HP yet, so defensiveness of that anchor point proving very important at this critical part of the late game. We get multiple engagements between Skin Wolves and Spear Riders here. Spear Riders, not faring well in the vicinity of the Solar Engine, but some clever girls do come in and actually turn things around pretty quick with a terror route from the Solar Engine. Starts firing down in this other engagement, trying to affect the battle with that nice blinded debuff. Pop that on those Skin Wolves. Yeah, that's the most important target by far. Let's see, Spear Rider still holding for the time being, but you can see their sustained combat stats are honestly not anything super impressive, but some line of sight issues. Maybe the Solar Engine won't actually get a shot off here. We'll see. Some more Spear Riders lining up for a side charge regardless. So a nice flock of doom there from the Lizard Caster also. It's going to get rid of the supporting Marauders. Solar Engine over here blasting the Shaman Sorcerer. Not that he has much in the way of magic left, but yeah, Norska having a hard time getting together a cohesive push. Let's see, they don't really have much else left on the battle. Skink's doing a job of chasing some things around. Oh yeah, nice side shot in that unit of Marauders there, and it's looking pretty grim. These Skin Wolves could run around and heal for, you know, a long time. They might actually be able to bring this fully back, but as it is right now, clean engagements. Despite that Plague of Rust on the Cold One Spear Riders, they just lose out. And it's looking like probably a victory for the Lizardmen. Let's fast forward through this kind of cleanup here. Solar Engine, yep, manages to take the win. So not a victory for Norska, but a game for Norska nonetheless. And certainly I am very happy that they are getting an update. Like I said, wasn't sure that it would ever happen, to be honest. I sure am glad that it is. Definitely Norska is one of my low-key kind of second-tier favorite factions, I would say. Definitely enjoy playing them. In multiplayer, they have a super fun playstyle, although they haven't had anything new in a long time. Not counting, what is it, Skilla, that's his name? Anyway, yeah. Very, very fun, and very happy that they are getting a Caster Lord. Hopefully we'll see some more roster reveal details soon. But, yeah, in this particular battle here, Old One Spear Rider is taking out Wolfric kind of on the side there. Like I said, I thought maybe he could win out against more of them, but I guess in that surround, it just took way too much damage there. Really, I guess, too surprising when I actually stopped to think about it a little bit, but Javelins are largely cost-effective here. Such a dangerous unit for Norska, and will continue to be, no doubt. The Ice Wolves also, one of them gets some good value. The other Skin Wolves largely pay for themselves, so this component of the army is not what let it down. Ultimately, I think Wolfric just getting caught out there, even like a little Searing Doom from this Shaman Sorcerer of Metal, try and even out that fight a little bit, maybe bail him out, maybe like one Ice Wolf going over there to support as well might have changed the tide, and had he survived, it would have been very, very close. Definitely fun builds on both sides. Always love a wild tic-tac-toe build, but hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Hopefully you're as hyped as I am for, what is it, Tides of something, I can't remember now. Anyway, that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.